Skip's Blue Jays clinch its first AL East title since 1993. What a time to be alive. Blue Jays have 47 wins post-All-Star break. It ties their franchise record with the 1989 team. The Yanks, however, are yet to clinch. They're 2.5 games back in the AL wildcard race. They conclude a series with Boston today before a 3-game series in Baltimore to finish the season. So, Skip, your Jays are in. Stephen A., your Yankees not yet, but there, of course, is still a chance. What do you have to say, Mr. New York?
Well, congratulations to the Toronto Blue Jays organization.
Go ahead, spit it out.
Look, it's been 22 years. They had to get lucky sometime.
Yeah.
They got lucky because they got Tulowitzki. Obviously, the biggest deal was on July 30th when they acquired David Price. That was what turned this organization around. Their bats are lethal. Even though Tulowitzki has been out for several weeks, the bottom line is once they got Tulowitzki, they went on like a 13-14 game tier, really setting the tone. Batista and Donaldson are no joke. Having LaTroy Hoykins and those boys in the bullpen with David Price ultimately being acquired on July 30th turned this team around. But my Yankees, disappointing. Very, very disappointing. Steven Drew batting .201. That's what the games he played. Teixeira consistently and perpetually injured when it counts most. I don't know. I want to know. I would love somebody to show me the stat of the player who's been on the 15-day disabled list more times than Mark Teixeira. Because, I mean, you talk about, and he's such a nice guy. And, you know, he really contributes a lot, Skip, and heavily to the Major League Baseball RBI program, reviving baseball in the inner city. So I really appreciate the person that Mark Teixeira is. But they're paying him $180 million for a reason. And good Lord have mercy, he's never around when it counts. Got 31 home runs this year, but that's when he was around. Your leading home run hitter is Alex Rodriguez with 33. And remember, he was batting .277, but suddenly since the Toronto Blue Jays acquired their horses, this dude's batting average has dipped by 25 points to .252. And then you got Teixeira missing 50-plus games. You got Jacoby Ellsbury missing 50-plus games. I did not anticipate this. I thought they would be in the lineup. Stupid me. I thought that they would be ready to play. And I never thought that the Toronto Blue Jays would lose games. I just thought the Yankees would keep on winning. I didn't know that the Yankees were going to lose 3 straight to the hapless Boston Red Sox, which has happened over the last 3 nights. They're on the verge of getting swept by Boston right now with a damn playoff berth on the line. I can't believe it. I'm very disgusted by it, but there is still hope. I can have vengeance just yet. Because remember that the likelihood is that the Toronto Blue Jays are going to have to play the wild card team. And the Yankees may be that team. Now, they've beaten the Yankees 13 out of 19 times. They've played them this year, and I get that. And the likelihood is that David Price will be the one the Yankees have to go up against. I get that. But all I'm trying to say is that these are the Yankees we're talking about.
Are they? Are you sure?
There's still hope. Listen, I'm going to tell you, this Yankees team has proven more than any that these are the Yankees. The greatness of the Yankees, the tradition that they have. The Yankees, this is why. There is no Derek Jeter. There's no Paul O'Neill. Back in the day, there's no Greg Nettles, Reggie Jackson, Willie Randolph, Mickey Rivers, Chris Chambers. All of these boys are gone. Yet
Yogi Berra, Mickey Mantle,
that's right,
Whitey Ford, Babe Ruth,
don't forget
Lou Gehrig.
I don't know about Babe Ruth. I don't want to talk about Babe Ruth, the most glorified runner-up in history. But you know what I'm saying. All I'm trying to say to you is this. In the end, there is still, even in the aftermath of the great Derek Jeter's departure, the Yankees still find themselves relevant at this moment in time. I am very disappointed with what I have seen from them over the last couple of weeks, where they've lost like 5 of their last 8 games at a key pivotal stretch. I am disgusted. CC Sabathia went down. I forgot about him. Tanaka was injured. Haven't seen him much. Ivan Nova and Pineda and those boys I've got to rely on. I'm very disgusted. And Adam Miller, I know you don't have to be I know you ain't Mariano Rivera. There's only one. But I literally saw a game that the Yankees won last week in which Adam Miller gave up a home run in the 9th and then gave up another one in the 10th.
He did.
And they still won that game. But that is not a closer, okay? So I am very, very disgusted, perturbed, upset, whatever word you want to use about the Yankees. But having said all of that, look at them. They're still alive. They're still alive, still in position to wreak havoc. We all know Toronto deserves to be the favorite.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean they will capitalize on this. The regular season is one thing. Palms get a little sweaty. Backsides get tight.
Okay.
Come postseason time,
I gotta write that down.
we shall see.
Okay. Are you finished rationalizing what just happened?
I was finished telling the truth.
He's keeping hope alive.
Okay.
Spitting facts. That's what I was doing, but go ahead.
All I have to say today is fly, Blue Jays, fly.
Oh, my goodness.
I'm going to remind our viewers that when I made that fairly bold prediction,
Yeah.
because the New Jays, as I called them at the time, had added David Price of Vanderbilt University, your Yankees were 6 games ahead of quote-unquote my Blue Jays. So that was a pretty strong prediction that I made. But I made it because I just don't trust your Yankees, because they ain't your Yankees anymore. They've lost their backbone, their mystique. They're all living in the past the way you are. They wear the pinstripes like they're going to bring some magic from night to night, and there's no magic to be found. I think the magic just went north to Toronto because they keep pulling off big win after comeback big win. So my question to you is, and by the way, before I get to this, I told you your Yankees should be even further ashamed if they couldn't close this deal after Tulowitzki went down for the whole stretch run.
Teixeira went down too.
There was no Tulowitzki. Well, who's better, Tulowitzki or Teixeira?
Well, who's more valuable to the team, because the Yankees don't have much, so they needed Teixeira.
Oh, they don't have much.
They
You
don't.
just admitted it.
They don't.
Oh, okay.
Hold on, wait a
Now
minute.
we know they don't have much.
I said, but you got
Teixeira's all they have?
You got your 2 horses. You needed one of them, Skip.
Oh, okay.
Listen. It's like this.
Well, you just told me they're going to wreak revenge.
What I was
with
saying
what?
to you is that you got supplementary parts that show up, the Chase Headleys of the world and others that can show up with their moments.
What I was saying
But you got
was...
to have the 2. That's right. What I was saying was, what you got is the 2 guys that are supposed to show up for you, man.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I should have known, but I didn't know
Yeah, you
that
did.
one would fall off the wagon and dip 25 points in his batting average, and the other guy would just be on a 15-day disabled list, maybe for about the 13th time in his career.
That's true.
It's ridiculous.
It is ridiculous. But this would be even more absurd. What if your Yankees miss the playoffs? Not just miss winning the division. What if it's impossible? It is still possible.
That is sacrilegious.
Let me ask you a question, oh Yankee seer that you are. What if your Yankees lose to those, to quote you, hapless Red Sox one more time tonight at Yankee Stadium, and then guess what? They have to go play a division rival in Baltimore. No cakewalks there, no done deals there for 3 more games. And meanwhile, what if the hottest team in baseball, the Angels, go to Arlington to play the Rangers, who have no incentive to play for whatsoever? And what if they sweep, the Angels sweep the Rangers in Arlington? Well, guess what would happen? We would have a tie, and you'd have to play a playoff game for the playoffs with the Angels. Are you sure that the hottest team in baseball couldn't beat your Yankees in a 1-game playoff? That could happen. I think it's feasible, actually.
Actually, there's an even worse. There's a significantly worse scenario for me personally that you have not considered. Let's say, for example, that Toronto goes on a roll and they wipe out my Yankees. That's bad enough. But the way the Royals are looking right now, you know, Holland goes down. I believe it's Holland that's going to have the season in the surgery.
Cueto has
and
really
Cueto
struggled.
he's just dry. He's just falling off the map.
Yep.
And they would have home field advantage. Toronto would, even in a tiebreak, even if they had identical records, Toronto would have home field advantage against Kansas City. So they'd have home field advantage throughout the American League playoffs race. The team that's most suited to beat them may very well be the New York Mets.
Oh, so that would be even worse for you.
I'm a Yankee fan that would have
Would you
to
start
find
to claim
myself,
the Mets?
I would have to sit there and tell you that I think the Mets would beat Toronto, which would make my boy Jeff happy, but make me sick to my stomach. Because those are things that are sacrilegious. It's one thing to sit there and acknowledge that they're going to win, but I've heard you say so much about your Toronto New Jays that it is impossible for me to root for them because of you.
Okay.
So as a result of that, it would force me to root for the New York Mets, who I believe will beat the Los Angeles Dodgers, and who would have a very good chance of beating St. Louis, even with Wainwright coming back, because Yadier Molina has gone down, and I don't know how long is he going to be out. I don't know how long. I don't even know if he's going to be back. Can't lose him, because he's the one that stirs that cup and keeps those pitchers in check in St. Louis. So I would favor the Mets to win the NL pennant, which means they would meet the Blue Jays, and I would have to root for the Mets.
You know who I favor to win the NL pennant to make you rest easier? I think it's going to be the year of the Cubs.
Cubs are not doing it. Arrieta is no joke. By the way, I don't think he deserves the Cy Young. I think that should go to Greinke. Greinke. So Arrieta has been awesome and non-stoppable
doesn't even begin
in
to
the
sum it up.
second half.
Okay.
But Greinke has done what he has done all year long. I think he deserves it over Arrieta, my personal opinion.
So Toronto's up 1 game on Kansas City in the AL, has home field advantage in the World Series. I do have a silver lining for you. If the Yanks win tonight and beat their nemesis, the Red Sox, it's win number 10,000. That's a milestone.
10,000?
Yeah.
That's living in the past.
I feel good about that.
So what? I mean,
listen, I had your back. I was just trying to help you out there.
See, people that are not accustomed to winning will bring up stats like that.
Oh, okay.
Me, what I lean on is the 27 World Series championships.
Okay.
That's what I lean.
All right.
That's what it's the 27
Listen,
World
in
Series.
Connecticut, we're going to get an independent team back, so I'm excited.
But you've won one since 1999? Is that what it is?
Will we win one every decade? How about that?
Okay.
How about
The
that?
Panthers are only one of the early surprises this season at 3-0. So where does Cam Newton rank in the MVP race? We'll discuss that topic after the break.